The 49ers, they're 5-3. Won 5 in a row, lost 3 in a row. Whatever they do, they are consistent. Consistently good or consistently bad. The bye week was incredible for the 49ers. Very excited. If no other reason, Kyle Shanahan, will play some clips of his press conference here in a little bit. Dude was just cracking jokes, laughing. We haven't seen that from Kyle in about a month. And so you could just tell in the demeanor of the coach just how rest changes things. It really, really does. And I think for the Jacksonville Jaguars, which they're coming off a bye week as well, it was kind of a poor timed, amazingly timed for the 49ers. You were 3-game skid, get away, reset, go into it. Jaguars, exact opposite. They won 5 in a row. They didn't want a bye week. They're playing red hot. Now you rest that. We'll see how they respond. That's going to be the interesting issue. And then on top of all that stuff, oh yeah, there's a Chase Young trade. You go get a freaking Chase Young type player to come in and help this defense. I'm so excited. I'm so pumped about what's to come there. Really excited. Now, they're 6-2. They have a better record. 13th in points scored. They're averaging 24.1 points a game. 49ers averaging 27.3. And defensively, they're tied for 6th. They're allowing 19.5 points per game. We are allowing 17.5 points per game. So we're better by 3 points on offense. We're better by 2 points on defense. Just if we're looking at points scored, it's a lot more than that. Now, you look at their schedule, it's weird. They haven't really beat anybody incredible. They did win at Buffalo. They beat them 25-20, which Bills are a damn good team, but that's kind of the Josh Allen experiment, is he's got to keep both teams in it, and he's either the best quarterback in the past decade or he's the worst quarterback this year. That was one of those where he was just god-awful. They've won against the Colts, lost against the Chiefs, lost to the Texans. They got blown out by 20 points to the Texans. That was kind of the Texans' arrival party. Then they went on their 5-game tier. Listen to the teams they beat. Beat the Falcons, beat the Bills, beat the Colts, beat the Saints, beat the Steelers. Any game you win in the NFL matters. And these are not great opponents outside of the Bills. Falcons, not a powerhouse. Colts are the Colts. Saints, all right. Steelers, we played the Steelers as well. I mean, they're 5-3. I mean, you win what you got to play. The Niners haven't done that. So they're a good team. There's no doubt about that. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to win their division. It's just kind of what it is. But then you look at the 49ers, 5-3. We know 5 in a row, 3 losses. So Kyle Shanahan was kind of asked, like, okay, how do you handle this? Are you trying to get on a, spree? Do you what do you do? And I love this. This is like totally coach speak from Kyle, but it's a 1-week season every single week.
I think it's important every week, but especially when you've lost 3 in a row, you got to get back to the part of that's all that ever matters. I mean, it's always a 1-week season, and it's not about going on a run or anything like that. It's about trying to beat a really good football team this week.
And that's the entire mindset. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to go out there and just find a freaking way to win. And thankfully, the way in which you win this game is you just be yourself. You do you, which I've talked a lot about. You've just got to go be you. You do not have to go out there, be crazy. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. No. Back to the basics, chill, figure things out, get this set up. That's kind of the way it's going to be. And right here, Ed said, yeah, Shanahan smiling, knowing he's getting his guys back. That's huge. Samuel Womack's coming back. I expect him to be activated. Debo's going to be back. He's full participant. Trent, I expect to be back. But that's the one kind of questionable play. Now, if we look at the PFF rankings over these overall units, right? So the Jaguars out of 32 teams, overall, they're 13th. They're above average team. This is PFF, just a snapshot. Offense, 21st. Their offense isn't great. It's really not. Now, they got a lot of elite talent. Their O-line's good. Quarterback's good. Running back's good. Wide receivers, tight end, good. Like, it's good, but they have not put it together. That is not how they're winning games. They're 21st offensive ranked. Defense, they're 8th. Defense is incredible. Special teams, 14th, above average. 49ers, offense 2nd, I'm sorry, overall second, offense fourth, defense second, special teams 30th. Just finished all the special teams breakdowns on the Bengals game. It was awful, man. We are a joke, special teams. And it's been that way since Shanahan and John Lynch arrived. You fired the coach. Shanahan's like buddy from Texas. Didn't matter. You bring in Snyder, who's like a well-developed, well-respected special teams coach. It's not good. It's not good. It's in fact bad. And so, you come off a game last week where you lost the offensive side of the ball, you lost the defensive side of the ball, you lost the special teams side of the ball, and special teams just keeps getting worse and worse. Really, really bothers me. I don't know. Now let's get to know the Jaguars. Their big man, Doug Peterson, Dougie Fresh. I like this guy a lot. He's just got such a cool storied past. I think he's one of the best coaches in the NFL. I'd probably put him top 10. If you want to put him higher, I have no problems with that. From Washington, Ferndale. Then he went to college in Northeast Louisiana, was undrafted. Quite the storied NFL career. He was with the Dolphins. Then he went to the New Jersey Knights. Then he went back to the Dolphins, then the Panthers. Then he went to the Rain Fire. Then he went back to the Dolphins, was Dan Marino's backup. Then he goes to the Packers, Brett Favre's backup, then Eagles, then Browns, then back to the Packers. He was kind of your quintessential career backup quarterback. Learned a lot with a lot of great players and a lot of great coaches. As a coach, started off at Calvary Baptist Academy in Louisiana. Then, coached Jeff Garcia at the Philadelphia Eagles. Then gets bumped up to Kansas City, coached Alex Smith while he was there as the OC. Then he becomes the Eagles head coach, wins a Super Bowl, and got fired. Philly is the worst place in the world, by the way. You fire a Super Bowl winning head coach. And the reason why he got fired was another 49ers quarterback, Nate Sudfeld. If you remember, they were out of the playoffs. They benched Jalen Hurts the last game of the season, put in Nate Sudfeld, kind of tanked a little bit, and he said we deserved it, or he earned it as a player, whatever else. He got fired right after that. Came in after probably the worst head coach in NFL history, Urban Meyer, as far as the NFL standpoint goes. Urban Meyer just firebombed that entire team. He steps in 2022 last year, win the division. What a playoff game. Coaching matters. Coaching matters, and he's a damn good coach. Very, very, very good coach. Now, and again, you look at Doug Peterson's coaching record, 57 wins, 47 losses, 1 tie, postseason 5-3. He's just a damn good coach. Their offensive coordinator is somebody that we kind of know, Press Taylor. This is Zach Taylor's brother, who we played just freaking last week. Zach Taylor, head coach of the Bengals, his brother, Press Taylor, much less known. Little known fact as I was digging into kind of his personnel and kind of his history, his father named him after Pistol Pete's dad, Press Maravich, who was, obviously an amazing college basketball coach and NBA basketball coach, which I just thought was really cool. Press is a cool name. From Norman, Oklahoma, which is where George Kittle played. I hate Norman. OU sucks. And he goes to Butler Community College, won back-to-back national junior college championships as a quarterback, then transferred to Marshall. As a coach, he worked his way up. Tulsa, then he was Eagles quality control coach. Then he went with, Dougie Fresh to the Colts, Jaguars. He's just been with the same guys. Hell of a coach. No doubt about that. And just to make things even more interesting, the defensive coordinator, Mike Caldwell, dude is a freaking baller. His wife, Nikki Caldwell, is the head girls basketball coach at LSU, girls basketball coach, which is really, really cool. And he was drafted in the 3rd round in 1993. I thought this was cool. By the Browns, Bill Belichick, Nick Saban. Just the ties is so cool. This is a storied dude. And he's damn good at what he does. Played forever, Browns, Ravens, Cardinals, Eagles, Bears, Panthers, traveled around a lot. As a coach, he's been everywhere. Philly, linebacker coach, Cardinals, Jets, Bucks, Jags. He's a damn good coach. So from a coaching standpoint, very solid staff. Very solid staff. Now, if we look at the injuries, and this is the issue, Banks is out. Feliciano's in. Debo's full practice. I ain't worried about him. Greenlaw full. That's huge. Daryl Luter Jr. is full, but probably not going to be activated. Bill Jr. full, not going to be activated. Chance Womack full. I think that dude gets activated for sure. Drake Jackson showed up on the injury report. Worst possible time for him. Limited with the knee. I won't be shocked if they put him on IR. And Ray McLeod did not practice. He's got an illness, unspecified, non-COVID. Now the Jags, they're coming off a bye, but they're kind of banged up too. Tyson Campbell, their best corner, limited with a hamstring. Another defensive back, Andre Cisco, their safety, limited with a hamstring. Zay Jones, their wide receiver, he was limited, not unspecified, so I don't know what that was about. They made a trade as well. We got Chase Young. They traded for the guard Ezra Cleveland. He's limited with a toe. Safety Daniel Thomas, limited hamstring. Another corner, Gregory Jr., hamstring. And Yasir Abdullah, the rookie out of Louisville. He's got an illness as well. So both teams coming out of bye week, pretty healthy, but not completely healthy. And when you're in the NFL season, week 10, you're never going to be healthy. That's just what it is. So it's going to continue. Now, these teams haven't played very often. Obviously, Jags, one of the newer teams in the NFL. Niners lead 4-2 in their all-time series. The last time they played was pretty much the same week in November 2021. 49ers won 30-10. Garoppolo had a great game. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Trevor Lawrence, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but 3 sacks. He did not play particularly well. Debo, this was the Debo year. 8 rush attempts, 79 yards, and a touchdown. And if you look at his receiving, 1 catch, 15. But he was like full-time running back at that time. Jeff Wilson, 19 carries, 50 yards. Yeah, I mean, it's just come a long ways. Ayuk, 7 catches, 85 yards, touchdown. Kittle, 4 catches, 34 yards, touchdown. It was one of those games. It really was. They have completely overhauled their wide receiving core. Listen to their wide receivers back in 2021. Laviska Shenault, gone. Marvin Jones, gone. Jamal Agnew's still there. James Robinson, gone. Tavon Austin, gone. Laquan Treadwell, gone. John Brown, gone. Carlos Hyde, gone. So, complete overhaul in just 2 short years. A lot of that's because you've had not 1, but 2 head coaching changes in 2 short years. And so I think that kind of matters whenever you look at kind of what's going on with this team. Now, the best thing and the most scary about this Jacksonville team, Trevor Lawrence gets the attention. I get it. Number 1 overall pick, whatever. It's this damn defense. The Jaguars defense and what Caldwell has done is nothing short of amazing. And when Kyle Shanahan was asked about him, man, listen to these words. This is what he had to say about this defense.
I think it's the best. I mean, them and Cleveland are definitely the best 2 defenses we played this year. I think they're playing at an extremely high level. They're not giving up yards. They're one of the hardest teams in the league to run the ball against. I think they're number 1 in getting turnovers. I think they're number 3 in giving up explosives. So they're a bend but don't break defense because they're not giving up explosives, and it's really tough to run the ball against them. And they lead the league in turnovers, so it's not a surprise they've won 5 in a row.
I mean, you use Cleveland's name when you talk about defense, which we've already played. That should tell you something. This is the second best defense we will play all year. Notice we still have Philly on the schedule. But I agree with them. And you watch the film and it's just like, all right, these guys are for real. Now you go through the ranks. The ranks don't reflect quite what Shanahan just put out there. And coaches do this. You always pump up the opposing team. You don't want to give up bulletin board material, whatever else. But out of 32 teams, these are their ranks. 8th in points. Okay, so top 10 there. 23rd in yards. They do give up a lot of yards, despite what Kyle said. Statistically, most turnovers forced in the NFL, 18, and they've had their bye week. We forced 13, so they forced 5 more. They get a lot of turnovers. Now, you look at the teams they played, the quarterbacks, Richardson, rookie. They didn't force. Anyway, Richardson, rookie. CJ Stroud, rookie. Desmond Ridder, first year starting. And then you've got Josh Allen, who we've talked about. Then they play the Colts again. Then they play Derek Carr. Then they play not Trubisky, but Kenny Pickett with the Steelers. So it's not like they played elite level quarterbacks. Now, wherever you want to put Brock Purdy in that conversation, that's cool. But back to the poll question that I asked to start at the start of the show, which is more important for the Niners, Brock, no interceptions. D-line getting 4 sacks. Right now, it's at 59% no interceptions. More and more people are voting for the sacks are more important. Me personally, it's no interceptions. If I had to pick now, hopefully both happen. If both happen, this game's over. This game is over. It's not even close. So I like this, Ed. I appreciate this. You got to jump on them early. Being at home, coming off a bye, they will be sluggish the first half. There we go. In your opinion, I like that opinion. I really do agree. Right here, Pern says if your poll holds, the next interception that Brock throws, our fan base will want his head. No, anybody that's doing that, there's always wackos with every single fan base, right? Fans short for fanatics. You're going to get those guys, the overreactors. I mean, every single game, my DMs say fire Shanahan, fire Wilkes, fire, put Sam Darnold in. You always get those every time. So, yeah, I get that. That's going to happen. But Brock's the guy, at least for this year, and he's played incredibly well. And so, I'm not concerned about that. Now, back to the Jags defense, 7th in first downs allowed, 20th in passing touchdowns. You can beat them through the air. They are a gambling defense, and they do give up passing touchdowns. But they also tied with us for most interceptions in the per game. They have 11. We have 11. 3rd in rushing yards allowed. They're very good against the run. 9th in rushing touchdowns allowed. 4th in yards per rush. 3.6. That's awesome. 5th and 3rd downs. 13th and 4th downs. 10th in red zone. They're just freaking good. Josh Allen's the best player on their defense. He came out the same year. Bosa, 10th highest rated, pass rusher. He's great. Darius Williams, undrafted free agent, career corner. Awesome. Oluwuken, I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. Their linebackers decent. Cisco, their safeties decent. It's good team. It's a good roster, but it's just sound scheme, great coaching, and everybody knows what's going on. Now, not everybody's good. Rayshawn Jenkins, their other safety, not good. Trayvon Walker might be one of the worst first-round picks of all time out of Georgia. Trent Baalke loves his height, weight, speed, long arm specimen. He missed big time. He's not looking good. Dwayne Smoot struggled defensive time. And, you look at their scheme, very zone heavy, just like ours. 78.3% of their coverage is zone. They don't do a lot of man. Cover 3 is their favorite. 49.8% they're in cover 3. So it's exactly what the Niners do. It's so damn similar. Limit big explosive plays. Get turnovers. You look at, what they do. They have the fewest explosive plays allowed in the NFL. We're 3rd. And depending on what you define as, I'll play a clip for you later on where Kyle say they're 3rd in limiting. Depends on what you limit. I say 10 plus yard run, 20 plus yard pass, but other people redefine and whatever else. But they're good. They've allowed 31 explosive plays. We've allowed 37. Now they blitz a lot, but not always. Last week, or week 8, the last time they played against Pittsburgh, they blitzed 5 times. New Orleans, 20 times. Colts, 24 times. Buffalo, 20 times. So which one are you going to get? I don't know, because they jumped out pretty early on Pittsburgh. So part of me says the game kind of dictates. If they're behind, they blitz. It's just kind of what they do. And so we'll kind of see what that looks like. But, man, I'll tell you this. The 49ers and the Jags defense, they're so damn close to each other. They are so close. And they're good. They're beyond good. They are a solid unit. This is why they are winning games. This is why they win games. So the Niners have to not allow them to do what they want to do. You don't turn the ball over and you run the ball well, the 49ers are going to have all the success in the world. I don't even give a damn about the defense this game. Isn't that weird?
The 49ers Rush Podcast.